both of them have spent time with me at my house, and we've shared a lot of good stories together and many meals together. And I just want to personally thank them both, because they really, as you know, are extraordinary people and extraordinary leaders, and they do so much on behalf of so many. So thank you both for your leadership and for hosting me this afternoon. And to all the incredible leaders here, it is an honor to be with you again, and to everyone, happy Hispanic Heritage Month. Which in my book is every month of the year. So this is a room of long-standing friends, and many of you know my background. My mother arrived in the United States when she was 19 years old, by herself. And I spoke about it recently, actually. You know, my mother, I was the eldest child. And as the eldest child, those of us who are, you know, you see a lot of things in terms of what your parents go through. And I would often see how my mother was treated. She was a 5-foot-tall brown woman with an accent. And I would see how the world would sometimes treat her. But I'm going to tell you something, and this is where I come from. My mother never lost her cool. She never defined her sense of dignity based on how others treated her. She was a proud woman. She was a hardworking woman. She had 2 goals in her life: to raise her 2 daughters, my sister Maya and me, and to end breast cancer. She was a breast cancer researcher. And growing up, our mother taught us certain fundamental values: the importance of hard work, the power of community, and the responsibility that we have to not complain about anything, much less injustice, right? Because why are you complaining about it, she would say, do something about it. And that's how I was raised, do something about it. And those values have guided me my entire career. From, as you heard, being a young courtroom prosecutor in Oakland, California. We're there. 106.1. That was our local radio station for hip-hop. But doing that work, you know, part of the background on why I became a prosecutor was actually when I was in high school, I learned that my best friend was being molested by her stepfather. And when I learned about it, I told her she had to come live with us. And I called my mother, and my mother said, of course she does, and she did. And so I decided I wanted to start a career and do the work of, in part, just doing the work of making sure that we protect the most vulnerable. And so I started my career as a courtroom prosecutor, and took on those who would be predators against the most vulnerable. As Attorney General of California, I took on the big banks and delivered $20 billion for homeowners who were middle-class families who faced foreclosure because of predatory lending practices. I stood up for veterans and students who were being scammed by the big for-profit colleges, knowing and many of whom had an immigrant background and were just simply trying to do the best they could to invest in themselves and their family for their future, and the subject of awful scams. I have stood up in my career for workers who are being cheated out of the wages they were due, and for seniors who have faced elder abuse. And I say all that to say, when I stand here before you today, this is not just something that I decided to do, but really is about a lifelong career that has been about fighting for the people, for the people. And for years, I have been proud to fight alongside the members and the leaders of this incredible caucus. In almost all of that work. And the work we have done together has been about so much I just talked about. It has been about defending workers' rights. It has been about expanding health care for more Americans, including dreamers. It has been about forgiving billions of dollars in student loan debt, including for many of the folks that we know, friends, relatives, who, again, have been burdened by that heavy debt and just needed to be seen. Teachers, firefighters, nurses. The work we have done together has been to create the National Museum of the American Latino. And of course, last year I was proud to be with a lot of the leaders here in Houston for the CHC On the Road tour. So I say that to say that CHC, our work together, has always been guided by shared values and by a shared vision.